Hello? Well, I didn't think this was going to start so soon, but it did. But I need a break. I wasn't planning to start for about 10 minutes. So, come back in 10 minutes. Whatever. Hello. All right, let me share this link. So I was trying to, let me turn this audio down on my iPad. I just use that for monitoring. I was trying to figure out how to not mirror my iPad or iPhone to the Mac, but to like show picture in picture. Because when you mirror, it takes over the whole like computer. I am all ears if you guys have any suggestions. And let's see, how's the brightness? Let's check that out. The whole thing kind of, there we go. All right, stop looking down. Let's, I think this needs to come up like that. Should be all right. Maybe a little too cool. Looks like a ghost. That's a little probably better. Anyway, let's fly, guys. Any kind of disclaimers I need here? I am not a CFI, not a certified flight instructor. I am cold. So everything that I do is not for any other purpose than entertainment. I streamed yesterday, and during the stream I was saying things about different rules, regulations, and just different facts that are not, I don't know everything. A lot of it, I know a lot. But, you know, I might say some things that may not be the actual thing, and I don't stop flying to go look things up typically. So, yeah. So, let's go. Where do we want to fly today? So I always fly like my local airports, and I just thought maybe we fly somewhere else. Wonder what time it is in California. 3 hour. It's like before the sun comes up. Sun is just coming up East Coast. And I think Central Time, you'd have a nice sunrise. So let's do, I wish I had, all right, we'll do it on here again. So let me pull this up on my other screen. ForeFlight. All right. So this is ForeFlight. This is comparable to what I have on my iPad and iPhone. The difference is that the iPhone and iPad are connected directly to X-Plane, so I get actual GPS on my iPad, but I can pull up plates. Plates are like approach plates. It's like the specifications of what you need to fly, how you need to fly, minimum requirements, and all sorts of stuff to like come in and land if you're flying IFR. We might just do VFR today, but let's look around here and see something that's a little bit more west to do a nice little flight. So I thought about flying to Tennessee for Laracon last year, and I would have flown into Johnstown. What is it called? John C. Toon. And we can look here. Here's Nashville International, and this is I met some people when I was getting my instrument rating that flew from here to Charleston in their SR-22 to get their instrument rating, which is awesome. But they fly in and out of John C. Toon. This is the airport that I had called way before Laracon to see about getting checked out in a 172. We're gonna fly an Arrow today, I think. I like the Arrow. It's faster, and maybe not best for VFR. I guess it's about this. It's comparable, but this would be kind of cool. We could do maybe like a flight around maybe a couple laps and come and do like a touch and go at this Smyrna or something as a VFR. That'd be kind of fun, right? Let's do that. So shrink this down for now. We'll go with the JWN. And let's start, I like to start at the hangar or the ramp. And we'll start without the engines running. We'll go through the whole kit and caboodle here. So yeah, you can change the time. I like to fly kind of real time. So that's not right at all. Track real worlds. There we go. Sun's just coming up. Let's make sure we're doing real weather. We are. Okay. And let's start. I choose to fly non-G1000. I do fly G1000 inside of the DA40, which is a pretty nice plane. It's a Diamond, and that plane is nice. I choose to go like I don't know. It's kind of like a hybrid between all glass and steam gauge. That's sweet spot, G5s and a nice Garmin 430, 530, or like a GTN 750 or something like that, which is in the real Arrow that I fly. They just upgraded. They had an HSI and just an attitude indicator, and they upgraded to dual G5s. I already had a GTN 750, and I forget what they have for the autopilot. It does have autopilot though. All right, cold and dark, and sun's just coming out. This is gonna be nice. All right, we can go with the checklist, but I know how to start this plane, so we're going to full throttle. I'm sorry, full mixture rich. Let's make sure our fuel pump, beacon, and strobe are on. I'm also going to put nav on. And we're about to turn our landing light and taxi on anyway, so we may as well have those on now. Let's open our throttle about a half an inch. That's pretty good. So this is pumping fuel into the system, so all we have to do now is start the plane. And you can see we are now started. And we want to keep RPMs around 1500, and we can turn on our avionics. Excellent. Cool. So on my iPad, I can now see, I wish I could show this to you. It shows that we are on the ramp at John C. Toon. And looking at it, let me pull up. Let me see if I can pull up. There we go. Pull this back up. And let me make this like full screen. I think then I can go back and forth. Yeah, okay. So let's go to, here's John C. Toon. And it shows me right now on the ramp down here. And since, yeah, we can check the weather, but probably here too. Weather is 09 at 6 knots. So I wanted to take runway 02, and that's going to be the most favorable. So we've got, this is at, basically you are taking off at 20 degrees. The wind is coming in at 90 degrees, so you have a little crosswind, but it's only 6 knots. So that's not that bad. Just a little right aileron when you're taking off. And so we'll come up here, we'll fly, come around here. And this is like the downtown area, so maybe we'll just do a couple laps around here. We can overfly VNA and then come down to MQY. So I want to put both of these in my nav, just so we know where they're at. So It's KBNA and MQY. And then also John Tune, so that we can come back here. But we have it here, so we might be able to get away with nearest airports. So let's see. Go back. There's BNA. Yeah, there we go. We'll say direct. And then we can do, I guess it didn't work out exactly how I thought it would, but nonetheless. Okay, I think it was MQY. MQ. Typically, like yesterday, I did like a full instrument. Like I had all the comms dialed in, I had the plan all set, and like revised clearances and all that stuff. And well, that's fun. It's also fun just to fly, And it's a sim, so I might do that. Unless you guys think otherwise. And by you guys, I mean absolutely nobody, because nobody is even in the live stream, so I'm doing it well. Alright, so accept. And there's our flight plan. Great. So let's do it. Do like a little run up, and we'll just do it right here. So 2,000 RPM. And let's go here. We're going to watch RPMs drop and then return. And then go right and return. Great. Cool. It's a sim, and there's no faults here, so I know that there's no. Alright, let's rock, baby. Disengage the parking brake. Let's go. We will bring this down for taxiing. So you reduce your mixture while taxiing, so that you can follow your spark plugs if you run it too hot necessarily like that. Where are we? Alright, coming up here. Cool. And this is a towered airport. Usually, well, about this time it's probably not. It probably is towered, so I would have had to call ground and tell them I want a taxi, and then hand me off to tower, or I would just go to tower. Take a look here. I might go make another one. Because there's nobody here. And if you're watching this later, you can just fast forward it to when I had my coffee. We'll get lined up though, ready to go. I like this plane. It's not exactly like the one I fly in the real world, but it's pretty close. Alright. We'll stop there. I'll get a coffee. Be right back. back. What's up? All right. And I thought while I was getting coffee that I probably should grab the weather. Altimeter reading is very important. It's crucial, actually, even in a sim, because your altimeter setting will dictate your elevation, or what you're reading as your altitude, which is important if you're doing any kind of flying, really, because you come into land, you want to make sure that you are. I mean, VFR is going to be different, yes, but you never know. It might hit into a cloud, something comes along, you can't see, you want to know how you're going to clear a mountain or something. So let's go ahead and I'll pull up the ATIS is 127.075. 127.075. Wait, there we go.
2.6, altimeter 3027.
3027, I think it said.
Automated weather observation, John C2. Wind 160 degrees at 5 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky conditions, view at 11,000. View at 16,000. Scattered at 25,000. Temperature 14. 2.6, altimeter 3027.
All right, so it says it's 3027. However, that's giving me a field elevation about 450 feet. And I'm looking here, and I can show you here, that the elevation here is actually 501 feet. In this case, you would actually turn this so that it reads the field elevation. So, especially on a sim, right? You want it to read, yeah, let's actually go lower than, that's good, 500 feet. So, yep, that's how you do that. All right, so the only thing we need to do to take off, we already have our fuel pump on. I should have turned that off when we were taxiing. All of our lights are good to go. Let's go full throttle. I'm sorry, full mixture. And we're gonna do just a regular takeoff. And there's a lot of different kinds of takeoffs you can do. I would have checked to make sure final is clear, no one's coming into land, all that stuff. But again, we're simming it today, but not really simming. We're just playing around. Maintain center line. There we go. Right rudder. Airspeed's live. All the engine instruments are in the green. At 70, we rotate. There is 70. Let's rotate. And we're going to pitch for 80. Once we are out of usable runway, which we are, we're going to do gear up. That's going to reduce our drag. We're just going to speed us up. But instead of taking that as airspeed, we're going to take that in a climb. So just pitch up a little higher, and climb a little faster. Maintain that 80 miles per hour. And welcome to the sky, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. Maybe we'll get rid of the passenger. There's that gorgeous sunrise. We're going to turn east here in a minute. Take a look at that. We are at 1,000 feet, so that's 500 feet AGL. At 1,000 feet AGL, so 1,500 feet. We are good to go. We would make a call like John Tune traffic, 289 November Delta. We are 1,500 when we get there. And departing the area to the east. So we're going a little bit crooked here, off to the left. I'm not really doing instrument scans and stuff. I should be, but also could just do like heading mode. So that's kind of nice. Do a little autopilot. So I hold that, and that's going to put our heading mode wherever we're pointed at, and then go heading and autopilot, and let go. And we can do IAS, which is climbing at a specific airspeed up to, let's go to like 3,000. 3,000, and let's climb at like 85. And alright, we're beyond. So John Tune, 209 November Delta, 1,850, climbing 3,000, departing the area to the east. John Tune traffic. And so let's go straight east, right into the sun. So all I gotta do now is turn this to east, right? So let's put that on east, and the plane's gonna turn east. Should be pointed right at the sun, should look nice. Here we go. Let's get rid of this passenger. Make sure my graphics are turned up. It does. This my computer does okay with the graphics. So I usually have it up pretty good. So cloud quality, that's fine. This is all actually pretty good. This is actually pretty good. Yeah. All right. Yep. Maybe we. No, that's. I think you have to restart X-Plane if you do that and that stuff. So. Obviously, a little bit of wind here. We are under the Class C shelf, which is 2,400. We would have to get a clearance to fly any higher than 2,400. Let's adjust that. Let's go like actually. Above that now, so we just busted it. So let's go 23. IAS. Down to 2300. We should have turned off our fuel pump, our landing light. We don't need our taxi either. And then it's called 25 squared, especially if we're not doing a really high elevation. We go 25 squared. So this is manifold pressure and RPMs. We want 25 and 25. That's for fuel efficiency and performance. So pull this down to 25. We should have done that at about 1,000 feet AGL. Some people do it sooner even. Setting. And actually, since we are cruise, we go like 2450. And this page is fine. Yeah, that's pretty close. And then our mixture, we're going to pull that back. We have our gallons per hour. It's a little 11.4. Pull this back to about 10. And that's, again, going to help us with our fuel efficiency. Here we go. Enjoy that beautiful. So downtown Nashville is off to the right. Let's go ahead and turn like southeast. Got some highways here, and on my map I'm going to go sectional. VFR section. You can see a lot more, and I'll show you what I mean. So I think this maps. Let's turn this to not aeronautical, but US VFR. There we go. So we are at J21, and we just took off, and we are presently, we're right here. So, again, I wish I could show you my iPad because it shows us GPS. And we're not going to fly, you wouldn't fly inside of this unless you had clearance. This is a TFR. It's in effect October 28th, so not today, it's actually not in effect. So you can fly through there. Maybe we will. Alright, let's see what it looks like. That's all this stuff over here. It's gorgeous. Yeah, let's turn into it a little bit. little bit beyond south. Let me turn this around. The first time I ever flew with autopilot, like it was in an Aero, and I saw it down there, and someone said it didn't work. It was kind of finicky and blah blah blah. And I hit a button, and I'm like, I think it's engaged, and I just turned this thing. It was on heading mode. And I just turned our heading a little bit, and I started turning. I'm like, whoa! It was really cool. It was really cool. Very interesting. We used it for about 12 seconds and turned it off. It's one thing playing around with stuff. It's another thing when you're like actually flying and you're not sure how things work. It makes a difference. So here we start to see some buildings. That's pretty nice. Got a nice river. That sunset or sunrise, I mean, it's gorgeous. That's kind of a nice view. And this is pretty close to what you'd see actually flying here. There'd be a little bit more detail, obviously, but it's a pretty cool feeling. We're flying, it looks like we're flying right through where that TFR is. So that stadium where they're playing would be up here, and there's a helipad on a medical center in about 4 miles, which is interesting. Pretty cool. Once we get up here a little bit more, we'll engage the navigation and we'll fly directly over KBNA, which is Nashville International. And if you have been to Laracon, then you probably flew into Nashville International. I did. Pretty cool. Nice sunrise flight. Alright, let's go flight plan and go direct to KBNA. Now we're still in heading mode, so all we have to do is switch to nav and make sure this is on GPS. Click nav. We'll fly directly over Nashville International. Now once we get there, it'll just continue flying us directly straight. So it's kind of lining us up with that other airport that I said we would do like a touch and go at. Smyrna. So let's pull up Smyrna here. So let's go look at our weather, and we'll get our let's see, this is AWA, so it's probably just it's Towered Airport. So we got our Towered and there, and go to clearance, and this is class Delta. I'm gonna pause it here and explain that real quick. So you see all these magenta lines, right? And this, you can see this light blue, and underneath that there's that dark blue line. And then you have here's MQ, this is Smyrna. So you have the same kind of thing. You have this dashed blue line around it. All those lines are dictating airspace. So here, the way to read this, and usually you don't have this on your map. On a paper map, you definitely wouldn't have it, but you'd have the 60-24, right? So it's saying in this quadrant, that's outlined here, class Charlie, which has rules, and I can explain those, starts at 2,400 feet AGL, and that's above the ground, 2,400 feet above the ground, because there's MSL, which is above the sea level, which we also use for certain things. And it goes up to 6,000 feet. And it looks like the whole shelf here, the whole class Charlie, is 6,000 feet. So if you're flying at 6,100 feet, you don't technically, for class Charlie, you do actually have to tell them that you're flying over. For other classes, you wouldn't. Actually, class Bravo, which go up to 10,000 feet, you don't have to. And that's up to a certain elevation. I think it's 18,000 feet or 17,999 feet, because if you're flying in Class A airspace, then you're already on a flight plan and you already have your clearance above it. Anywho, these blue spaces, these are Class Delta airspaces inside of or underneath a Class A. So you can see like, and this one's kind of weird. This is kind of weird because it's Class Charlie shelf starts at 2,400, but this is starting like 2,500 feet and below. That's kind of weird that they're taking precedence over the Class Charlie just in this area. But the rule is, before going into a Class Delta airspace, if you don't already have a clearance, if you're not in a flight plan or something like that, you have to tell the tower that you are coming in. And for Class Delta, the rule is if they respond with your tail number, so I would say Smyrna Tower, 289 November Delta, I'm 5 miles to the northwest inbound, touch and go. So that's telling them I'm coming in and I like to do a touch and go, which is just landing and taking back off, and then depart back to the south. And I'll come south. I would come fly in here or something, and then actually they're probably landing a different runway. They would give us a runway assignment, and then departing back to the north, whatever. So it's probably going to be, it would probably be runway 1, depending on the weather. If it's similar to what we had at John then that's what they would probably land us at, as long as that runway is active. And then we would fly back north. And so they would let us in. And so their response, if they're like, calling airplane, stand by or something like that, we cannot cross this line if they don't say our tail number. That is a rule. Class Bravo, that's different. Class Bravo, you actually have to, you say, hey, 289 November Delta, I'm inbound, like to transition Class Bravo at this altitude from here to here. And if they say 289 November Delta, stand by, they said my tail number, but I'm not allowed in. They didn't give me a clearance. They have to say you are cleared into the Bravo. And actually, I've had a clearance into the Bravo shelf before, but they didn't use those words. You are cleared into the Bravo. And I repeated back to them before I went into it. I'm like, am I cleared into the Bravo? You have to get those words. Yes, you're cleared into the Bravo. That is my local Bravo. I live underneath it, actually. And that's this in Charlotte. So this is all the blue lines here. I live right in here somewhere. Yeah, right in here. Right around here. So that's definitely inside the Bravo shelf. I fly Monroe, and I fly out of Concord, and I fly into Lancaster a lot. Anyway. So let's go. Let's get our clearance into that Class Delta and do our touch and go. So let's pull up first we'll get the tower in 118.5. 118.5. And since it's towered, it would have an ATIS, but this one actually has an AWOS. So we would have to tell them that we had the weather before we even say anything. Alright, there's that frequency. And I'll put my weather in COM 2. That's just how you typically do it. Anything that you're talking on stays on 1. Anything you listen to only is going to be COM 2. 119.125. And we'll get that weather.
1000. Temperature 13. Dew point 6. Altimeter 3028. Arriving runways 19314. Departing runways 19314. Advise on initial contact. Have information off.
Information? I didn't hear that.
Smyrna information off. 1150 Zulu. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky conditions. View at 11,000. View at 15,500. Scattered at 25,000. Temperature 13. Dew point 6. Altimeter 3028. Arriving runways 19314. Departing
it said information null or something, and again, the altimeter reading is probably not accurate. It's pretty far spread from what we just had in there, but I would still put this in. The field elevation there is 543 feet. It also said that they're landing and taking off runway 19 and runway 14. Let's adhere to that because I don't think it's that big of a difference at this end. So here's before we pass it by, and then we'll have to give a call to Smyrna. But here is Nashville International. And believe it or not, flying directly over an airport is one of the safest places to fly. Because you have people landing and taking, I would say flying over runways is safe. There's almost no way, like you'd have somebody landing or taking off here, right? Or here. They're just not going to get to your elevation that fast, even if it's right over the runway. Alright, so let's give... It's navigating us directly towards, because we crossed BNA, it actually is, because we're on nav, directing us towards the other airport. So let's give them a call, and that would go something like Smyrna Tower, 289 November Delta, directly over Nashville International, headed straight in about 10 miles to the northwest, inbound for a touch and go. And they would come back with 289 November Delta. That's our clearance. You're okay. 289 November Delta. Make a right. See, this would be like a straight in, but they might not want us to do that. So they would say if we're 19. All right, let's pause this again so you guys can see what I'm looking at. KMQY. All right. So the ATIS said, or the AWA said, they're running 14 and 19. We're coming in from up here. So, I mean, you would like do like a straight in, right? But they typically don't do straight ins like that. They can, and I mean, it's not like it happens. So we could do that, but typically they would probably do like, make a cross runway 19 midfield, make left downwind traffic. Or left traffic for runway 19. And so I think that's what we'll do. So that means you'd fly over midfield right here, whoosh, like a perpendicular to runway 19, which is up here, straight like that. And then you make left downwind traffic. That means the airport stays to your left, or the runway stays to your left. So you turn left here, and then you turn base, and then you come in. And they'll have you go here, because if they have people landing here, and they need to squeeze you in, they can just say, hey, keep extending, keep going straight, parallel, until you see like some traffic, and then you're number 2 behind them or something like that. That's typically what happens. So that's what we'll do. So that call would come in, and they would say something like 289 November Delta, make cross runway 19, midfield, make left downwind traffic, make left traffic, runway 19. They say, all right, 289 November Delta, cross runway 19, midfield, make left downwind traffic, that's it. So since our field elevation is 1,543 feet, we're going to go down to 1,000 feet above that. And that would be 1,500 feet. So let's do that. 1,500 feet. It'd actually be 1,543, but this is fine. You can do 1,600. Let's go 1,600. Give you a little bit more. Elevation is your altitude is your friend. Let's screw this up. For our lower landing checklist. Pretty easy. So fuel like 24 on the left tank, 30 on the right, and we are on the right So I'm doing pretty good on that. For landing and takeoff, you want to banner for this tank. So, and what we would call ahead, I didn't give them this information. You want to give it to them when it's quiet, I guess, is a good time, or near initial call. We'd like to do a touch and go and then depart to the north. Or we could go south, actually, because we're going to come in here and land and take off, and we can depart to the south, and we can come all the way back, like around here, and come back into land at Johnson. And that way we get the south side of Nashville. Kind of nice. So let's do that. So I would say something like, Smyrna Tower, 29 November Delta, just a heads up, we're going to be doing a touch and go and then departing the area to the south. And they would say, 29 November Delta, copy. Alright, we are 4 or 5 miles out. And also what they would normally do is say, cross runway 19 midfield and make left traffic and report the downwind. So what that means is you'd cross runway 19 right here, midfield, and then when you turn left, you're in the downwind leg. So as soon as you turn left, I would say Smyrna Tower 29 November Delta is in the downwind, runway 19. But that lets them know where we're at, and they'll have eyes on us. They probably already do have eyes on us anyway, but that's for a lot of reasons. It's a good thing to have said. If there's ever an accident, they can listen and say, hey, that guy didn't call the downwind like he was supposed to, or, forensically, it's always a good thing to cover your bases. CYA. All right, we are outside of the Nashville Class Charlie, and we are inside of the Class Delta. So let's turn autopilot off. Maintain our altitude. So there's the runway. That's 14. 14 is coming in this way. So we need to turn a little bit to the right. We're going to get set up for landing too. So let's go ahead and slow down. And we'll do our guns check. So gas, undercarriage. We're not going to do our landing gear yet. Mixture, full, rich, props, full forward. Fuel pump is on, landing light, and taxi as well. So everything's good except for our landing gear. So let's slow down to about 100 miles an hour and maintain that 15 to 1600 feet. There we go. That's good. And typically when you're about to cross midfield, that's when you're going to put your landing gear down. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's the runway. Let's maintain that. We're going to need to bump up our gas because that's going to introduce a lot of drag. We need to maintain our altitude and not slow down too much. Okay, that's getting us right where we need to be. And let's speed up just a bit more. So here's the tower. That's where they're going to see us from. Pretty cool. We're going to be landing down here. There's that runway. And altitude is perfect. Our speed is perfect. Gears down. The thing we need to do is our flaps. So we're about to cross midfield. And then once you cross midfield, you want to go, it's a half a mile. You want to be a half mile, 3/4 of a mile out before you turn down. So there's our midfield. Nice. Let's square that up just a bit. We want to be perpendicular to the runway. About there. Let's be perpendicular to the runway. Good. See, we are, I'll just take it away, but we can use our eyes for visual. So we're a little fast and we're a little low, which means, let me just trim up a bit. So Smyrna Tower, 289 November Delta is turning downwind, runway 19. Then it's a 289 November Delta, continue downwind. We have landing aircraft, Cessna 172. You're number 2 behind them. All right, number 2 behind the Cessna, 289 November Delta. And so we would just keep our eyes peeled and looking. Somebody coming in to land here, and then we're number 2. And they would say clear to land number 2. So clear to land number 2 after the Cessna, 289 November Delta. Alright, and let's look over here. There's our runway. Let's go ahead and put our first notch of flaps in. Make sure we are in the white arc here, so let's pull our altitude's a little bit low, so we do this. First notch of flaps. Alright, so you see the Cessna, it's not actually there. We see that Cessna, it's coming in, it's landing, and once it's perpendicular to our wings, that is when we can turn base. And we should be, our altitude's high, because we just put our notch of flaps in, we're monitoring that. And I'm pushing forward pretty good, and we're not speeding up at all, and our altitude isn't decreasing. We're going to reduce our gas, throttle a little bit, because it's keeping us moving. Alright, so let's turn base. And on base, we will do our second notch of flaps, we'll nose down some more, reduce gas a little bit, and we'll call our gumps check again. So gas is good. Mixed undercarriage, we have 3 green on the landing gear. Carriage, mixture, prop, we're going too slow. So we have to turn quite a bit. We don't have to maintain that 1,500 feet now. We're coming into land. And we'll go third notch of flaps. Alright, mixture props. All of our safety belt switches are already good. So all we had to do is worry about our landing gear, and we have 3 grand, so we're good. Alright, we want to maintain 90 or so. 90 knots here. That's a really good approach speed for the Arrow. Again, I'm pushing down significantly, and we're not decreasing altitude. So, reduce the throttle. Let's line us up with that runway. Alright, we're a little slow. One red on the Peppies. That lets us know if we're too high or too low. These lights over here, if it's all white, we're too high. We want too white and too red. It means we're right on point. So we have 1 red, so it means we're a little high. Come down a little more. I know it's kind of weird and scary because those trees right there, but you follow those Peppies regardless. That's going to be way more accurate. Obviously, don't hit the trees. Still high. Man, they cut you really close to these trees here. Ooh, baby, there you go. Probably a lot in the notes regarding that. Alright, so a little slow, but that's fine. We're right over the fence. 3 green. Alright. Flare. Reduce throttle. That's the end of the runway. Just hold it, hold it, hold it. Little balloon. Hold it, hold it. And there's our landing. Good. Flaps coming up. Maintain center line. Full throttle. Engine instruments are green. Maintain center line. And there's 70. Let's rotate. Route of usable runway. Let's maintain 80. Square bar, Hindenburg. Heading. That'll keep us squared up. Let's go. We're back in autopilot. Climbing our indicated speed, our desired speed. We're headed directly south. And they would give us a call like 209 November Delta. Just let us know when you're clear of the Delta. Something like that. So once we cross the blue line, which I'm seeing on my iPad, again, wish I could show you guys. We are right here. Right over this A. So once we could kind of come over here. That's what we'll probably do. So let's go like 220-ish. 2,000 feet. Class Charlie is 2,400 feet all over here, so 2,000 feet is pretty good. And we're going to stay on the tower frequency until we depart the class Delta. That's the rule of thumb. You can kind of switch to wherever you want to after that. There's a lot of different frequencies you can go to. You can go to your nearest airport wherever you're at. You can go, I forget what it's called, 123.45. Just like so people just chit chat basically. You can go, like 122.7 is a pretty good multi-com channel. You get a lot of traffic on that, and you can hear and talk to people, kind of know what's going on. Or you can just switch to your next airport, which that's probably what we'll do. We're just about to cross that line. We are right here. Alright. Smyrna Tower, 289 November Delta. We are clear of the Delta. Alright, resume. Comes navigation. Yeah, thanks for your help. 289 Delta. That's it. That's what I would say. So, let's go. Let's pull up John Tune. We're going to turn directly west. That's not at all what I wanted to turn. This is due west. And let's get John Tune back up and we'll get the weather and we will get the tower. The tower's already in standby. Oh, it's not. 1-1. Oh, because we didn't do it before. 1-1. Let's just do this. 1-1-9er 4-5. Okay. And then we pull up AWOS, ATIS 127.075. In the Aero that I actually fly, it's so nice when you have the GTN 750. 075. The GTN 750 will, it's a bigger screen first of all, but when you pull up your airport, you just like click a button and it'll load all the way. You can just say put ground in standby on COM2, put tower in active on COM1, and it will just do all the frequencies, and it does navigation frequencies as well for you, which is really nice when you're doing like ILS approaches, etc. It just gets it all ready for you. This does do that too. This will put if I load up like an ILS approach, let's do it actually. Let's go. We're going into KBNA. Let me see what we've got here. Let's do procedure, approach, runway 20. Let's see if there's an ILS for runway 2. There's not. There's an RNAV for runway 2. I want to do an ILS though. Let's do the ILS runway 2. Enter, and let's see where we're coming from. Kinda, it doesn't matter. I don't see SYI on here. Let me switch my... to... Oh, that's wrong. Clear this. Sorry, I know you guys can't see this. And honestly, I'm not even talking to anybody, so... Approach. Wow, they've got a lot more here. Why don't they have those? Procedure. ILS 20. Yeah, there we go. Let's do ILS 20 right. Enter. Alright, so ILS 20 right. And we'll go Hickory. Decision altitude of 778. So we'll go Hickory. Enter. Let's activate it. Actually, we're gonna... Yeah, let's activate it. Alright, so Hickory. Let me pause it here so you guys can see. Let's switch this back to IFR low. And let's go to procedures. KVNA. And click this. Let's go to procedures, approaches, and then we said ILS runway 20 right, which is it's DME. No, it's ILS. Okay. So yeah, this kind of stinks. Wish I would put it over the map. But Hickory is your IAF, which is your initial approach fix. We're coming from the south, so we would not go directly to Hickory and then do a 180-degree turn. No. They would give us vectors to either go off to the west or off to the east to come in, and then they'll say, all right, if you're like here, you're like 3 miles from Hickory, clear direct Hickory, cross Hickory at or above whatever altitude, 3,000 feet, and clear for the ILS approach runway 20 right. Oh, that's Nashville. I'm looking at the wrong. My goodness. I'm sorry. That's Nashville International. We're not even looking at the right airport. That's why I had way more. Sorry. That was a rookie mistake. KJWN. Approach. Yeah. So, all right. So the best wind is actually favoring runway 2. Everything I just said is true, but we're not going to apply that. So let me pull up these procedures. Approach. It's saying runway 2 is the best wind right now, and that's an RNAV approach. So that's fine. And Javna looks like a pretty good, because we're coming from the south. They'll probably give us Javna. And so let's go back here. And yes, enter, and let's go to our flight plan, and let's menu, flight plan, menu, delete flight plan, enter. All right, that's fine. And let's go, okay, come on now. Slipping it up here. Okay, J. I could do nearest probably, but whatever. W. N. Enter. Accept. And let's clear BNA. Let's go to procedure. We'll select approach. We'll say that's the wrong airport. Procedure. Approach. Still. Let's go direct. John Tune. And now it's not giving me. It is not giving me the right. This is for MQY. All right. Now, I think it'll work. It does not. Okay, well that's stupid. That's kind of cool. I didn't know I did that. So this is kind of what I was saying before. I wonder if it'll let you. So that's cool. It pulled up the airport. It's the wrong airport, but it pulled up that airport and it gives you all these frequencies. So you can actually do like tower. I think if you hit enter 118.5, I think it'll put it over here. It totally does. That's great. Wrong airport, but pretty cool. So let's clear. That's pretty dope. Right. Again, it's the wrong airport. So let's go. Let's try this. Let's put this as KJWN also. It still gave me the wrong. Let's try this. Let's try turning that off and then back on. And it didn't do it. All right. So we're just gonna do a straight in. I'm not gonna. If we don't have that pulled up here, I'm not gonna fly it. There's something wrong with it. Kind of stinks, but it is what it is. So let's just go land. Off to the right just a little bit. We can do direct enter. And that's 336. Yeah, we're just gonna fly, continue west a little bit, and then we'll turn. Once we are squared up with it, which we are currently. We are right there on the airport. Oh, JW. We are in this area. And runway 2 comes here. So that's the airport. We got about 10 miles. No, that probably wasn't the airport actually. still have about almost 10 miles before we turn right pace. How about there? Let's turn, because we'll still have like 10 miles to go that way. Let's turn like 45 degrees. Try to intercept that a little bit faster. And now the airport is about 15 miles this direction. Roughly. What a beautiful day. These are the colors of the black. I love about 5 miles. We will turn another 30 degrees to heading altitude 2. So when this gets to, they say 5 miles, it'll be like 6.5 miles. Well, that's 6.5 roughly. There's still actually, yeah, about 5 miles. Almost a little more than 4 miles. Again, we should have turned off our fuel pump and our landing lights and our taxi lights and 25 square. Kind of bad about that. It's not like a requirement. It is good. It's better for the engine. When you're renting and you're doing short flights, when you're renting, the gas is included. So it's like, you just burn the gas. Not as good for the engine though. So there's two different mentalities there. I like to fly accurately. I am not good at that. I need to practice that better. So we're already in, and we would have made our call. We're in Class Delta, and I would have said something along the lines of, I'm going to be full stop landing. Coming in, where I'm coming in from, get that clearance into the Class Delta, which they are as well, and they would give us our instructions across midfield or just direct runway 2, something like that. Alright, pretty close. Couple more miles, we'll turn. I don't know this area very well, so I couldn't tell you if the airport's on the other side of the river, this side of it, where it is in relation to that. This one's beautiful. That looks a little bit more like an airport. Yeah, we'll see it here soon enough. Alright, let's do our initial maps check. So gas, undercarriage mixture, props, fuel pump on, we are still on the fullest tank, landing light, taxi light, and the only thing we need to do is slow down, put our gear down. Alright, let's go ahead and turn to 02. Should be pretty well lined up. Slow down. And we can drop our gear. That'll slow us down. Yeah, I see the runway lights and headlights right there. Let's disengage autopilot. And fly this. We are in the white arc. We are 5 miles out, so we can do our first extra flaps. A little bit low. So all I see is right here. There's a little bit of white. But we still need to be descending, so if we were doing the ILS approach, we would have vertical navigation. We could follow that down, a glide slope. Straight on. Almost done. No one's even watching. So gas is down, undercarriage, mixture props, fuel pumps on. We have 3 green. The 3 green is our landing gears down. It's indicated. There's actually a sensor on each wheel. You have the nose wheel and then one on the left and one on the right, and those do not come on unless the gear is down. It triggers the sensor. Kind of cool. And there's training for complex endorsement. You actually can pull the landing gear fuse and simulate that you lost your hydraulic pump to those wheels, which doesn't matter if you're putting them down. It matters when you're coming up. You're bringing them up. You can fly technically with your gear stuck down. You don't want to, but you wouldn't have that problem. You wouldn't have, if your gear stuck down, it would be green. So when actually there's electricity that's running to letting them down, because there's an emergency switch down here that you pull, and then you you rotate your rotors. Oop, yeah, there you go. Emergency gear deployed. There you go. I deployed it. Alright, so a little bit high. I've been putting flaps in all along. Nose down pretty heavy. And we're not descending. So reduce throttle. I'm aiming for 90 knots right here and trying to get 2 white, 2 red. So if I'm maintaining 90 and I'm still white, then I'm just going to reduce throttle. And by white, I mean these pappy lights. Would stamp that. Yes, I know I'm coming into line. So maintain that 90. Now we're getting back where we need to be. There's 1 red. There's 2 red. Great. And don't want to get any more red. So let's increase our throttle a bit. We don't want to maintain altitude. We want to maintain our descent. Now you don't want to fly straight because then we'll be above the glide slope. So we'll maintain that descent rate, which typically is 3-degree descent rate. 507 feet, 700 feet per minute, 90 knots. So there's all white, not too high. That's what happens if you just fly straight. And we're good. Our speed is slow, so we're still good to just descend without touching the throttle until we get to 90. And there's one red. We're still a little slow, so we go down just a little bit. Pushing. There's two red, two white. Keep that two red, two white coming. We will not hit any trees. Still at 90. Can reduce throttle a little bit. We're VFR, so you don't really have to land on these white lines, but it's all good practice too. Alright, nice at the end of the runway. Nose up, just hold it. Reduce throttle. Maintain center line. A little bit of a flare. Here we go. That's a good landing. Hardly touched. Hardly shook at all. That was nice. Gears up. I'm sorry. Flaps are up. And we'll taxi back to the hangar, to the ramp. We'll expedite. Yep, that's what I do in real life usually. Just kidding. Cool. Alright, let's turn everything off. Fuel pump. All of our lights are coming off. Avionics are off. Turn off the engine. And turn off the power. And let's open the co-pilot door. And we can step on out. Stretch our legs a little bit. Come down here. You can walk down the sandpaper. I'm a little taller than that, but whatever. Stretch your legs. Welcome back to John Toon. Hope you enjoyed your morning flight. Little VFR excursion around Nashville International. Downtown Nashville. Landed at Smyrna, touch and go. And came on back to John Toon. All right, guys, that is a wrap. I hope you had a great time, and I look forward to the next one.